Well, you're 1 year older than you used to be, and you're still cool. You've still got it, it's plain to see. You're still cool. Yeah, it's your birthday today. That's why we're here to say that you're still cool.
How about we start off with a couple of birthday greetings that have come through the emails, okay? Don't forget, it's free popcorn chicken day at KFC. Somebody just gave me all the spam. I can't believe this. Now here's something from Mikhail Horovitz. Hail, Sanders, beloved of the goddess Retentia. Hail, Sanders, beloved of Clio, muse of history, Calliope, muse of epic poetry, Erato, muse of amorous poetry, and Polymultitalenta, muse of perf po. From Kansas to Kamak, from Missouri to Memphis, he hath lifted lifts from living lips into the eye of Ra. With talking tie, light lyre, and electric quilting frame, he hath made a place for his name in the pantheon of American tinkering geniuses. A benign, far funkier Thomas Edison. Hear, hear. He hath gently admonished his poet brethren to assume responsibility for the description of history and to truly, madly, and deeply dig the data dig at which they dig. He hath crafted songs of surpassing beauty. Wow, I like that. He hath crafted songs of surpassing beauty in the spirit of his maestros, William Blake and Jimmy Rogers. He strideth into Anno 65 with pipes, chops, and pioneering eyes and ears intact, keen to christen new books and perpetrate new poesies and continue wreaking whoop-ass on the military-industrial surrealist complex. All hail Sanders! Poet in residence of the peaceable kingdom. All hail Sanders, winged emissary of post-futurity. All hail Sanders. Hey, let's get Eddie Berrigan up here to do a couple of tunes. Here comes the magnificent Eddie Berrigan. You all know Eddie, don't you? He's a great poet and great singer and songwriter, fan of Ed's and post-futurian if ever there was one. How's the air conditioning doing? Is it working out there? No. Okay, I'm going to check. Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Berrigan.
Happy birthday, Ed.
Thank you, thank you.
Let me just get adjusted here. Just going to play a couple brief bug songs, a couple of my favorites. I Want to Know, adapted from a Charles Olson poem. And then a song my old man wrote called Doing All Right. I was thinking about doing Nameless Voices Crying for Kindness too, but every time I got to the line about the purple tongue licking donkey dick, my voice became unnaturally high. So this have to do. Hey. Hello. Is that picking up out there? Yeah.
Or break open our veins, solely to know, solely to know, solely to know. Hunger drives me onward to feel all of the skin, all of the skin, all of the skin. Into our eyes, hundreds of flashes cause us to feel alive in the
friend Jeff Lewis is going to come and do some stuff after this, I believe. Fabulous Lower East Side musician, poet, person, etc. Grew up in the neighborhood just like myself.
Got hairs growing around my nose and throat. Don't ever exercise the right to vote. When you see me on the street, you yell, Jesus Christ. But I'm getting mine. I'm doing alright. I'm not ever gonna go to a Vietnam. I prefer to stay right here and screw your mom. When you see me on the street, you yell, Jesus Christ. But I'm getting mine. I'm doing alright. When I walk down the street, people that I meet hold their noses and say, how are you for days? But I just walk on by, don't even hear them, cause I'm high and I'm getting almost as much pussy as a spade. I'm doing alright. I got true love for another and we got to die. So rip your panties off and look me right in the eye. You can't miss me, I look a lot like Jesus Christ. I'm getting mine, I'm doing alright. I got hairs growing around my nose and throat. Don't ever exercise the right to vote. When you see me on the street you yell, Jesus Christ. But I'm getting mine, I'm doing alright. But I'm getting mine. What are you doing tonight? But I'm getting mine, doing alright.
Jeff, you want to come on and get set up here? Let's hear it for Eddie Berrigan. And of course, the poet lyricist of that, of Doing All Right. Let's hear it for Ted Berrigan in the house. I understand there's a new collective that's being worked on, Eddie.
Yeah, coming out sometime next year.
We are happy. That's what we like. We like
900
that.
pages.
How many?
900.
Are you going to have footnotes?
Yeah, oh my God.
Oh my God, Ted Berrigan with footnotes? That's illegal. What is it that Robert Creeley had to say to Ed today? Is this poem called "O Pioneer"? That Creeley. He doesn't miss it. What can I say? It's your natal day, with stuff fading away, but still here to stay. So let's keep it that way. What do you say? Life's like a day, come what may. No carpe, no pay. Dearly beloved Ed, happy birthday. Robert Creeley. Okay, so Jeff Lewis is an investigative poet from the Low East, and is going to present that.
We're waiting for.
We're waiting.
Or, the technical things. Yeah,
Here
I
it
have to
comes.
say happy
Jeff
birthday,
Lewis!
Ed. I approached Ed before with no explanation whatsoever of who I was or the fact that I was performing. I didn't even bother to say happy birthday. I just rudely said, hey, can you get my girlfriend on the guest list? And Ed just said, sure. So that was very cool. Thank you. The Fugs really changed my life when, like Ed Berrigan said, we grew up here on the Lower East Side. Our parents were here since 60s. My mom got here in '59, I think, from Brooklyn. And when I discovered that scratchy old Broadside Village Fugs record in my parents' record collection at some point in my teenage years, it was really a total and life-changing revelation. And I thought I was going to change Ed Berrigan's life with it too. I made him a tape of it in school, and I was like, you got to check this out. It's this band called the Fugs, and I was going to go on. He was like, oh yeah, I know the Fugs. My dad wrote songs with them, all that stuff. So I was like, wow, okay, so I guess Berrigan beat me to that one. Any guitar coming through? It's great to be here. I put together this, to put the Fugs in the correct context, I have this little lecture I'm going to present, which is a history of punk on the Lower East Side from 1950 to 1975, which I feel is very appropriate to do here with this particular audience and CBGB's across the street, who has an audience that probably knows nothing about the history of punk as it was originated here on the Lower East Side by people like you. And it goes a little something, it of course includes very pivotal figures, the Fugs, as well as some other people whom you may have heard. Well, here we go. I'll do it fast so you don't get bored, unlike this long introduction. The history of punk, 1950 to 1975 on the Lower East Side. We start with Harry Smith in 1950, a beatnik weirdo living in New York City. His huge collections were insane of Easter eggs and paper airplanes and rare records. He had about 1,060,000. To change America through music was his hope, and to make some money because he was broke, he compiled a triple-decker collection of songs from his records, released as the Smithsonian Anthology of American Folk. On a Monday morning, just about 9 o'clock, the great ship Titanic began to reel and rock. Husbands and wives, little children lost their lives. Wasn't it sad when that great ship went down? Soon Smith's plan began to work as foretold, as weird music began to take hold. It sparked an interest in these forms underground from the norms, and soon millions of folk records were being sold. By the early 60s, Dylan, Baez, Phil Ochs were doing intellectualized copies of the old folks. Then one strange folk band downtown called the Holy Modal Rounders began to make it more anarchistic with weird voices and drug jokes. Mom's out there, switching in the kitchen, and Dad's in the living room, fussing and a bitchin'. I'm out here, kicking the gong for euphoria, euphoria. When your mind starts reeling and walking, inside voices start squealing and squawking, floating around on a belladonna crowd singing euphoria. That was 1964. Then in 1965, Lou Reed and John Cale in a Ludlow Street dive had a very similar musical spin, also on acoustic guitar and violin, with even more New York street drug jive. Hey white boy, what you doing uptown? Hey white boy, you chasing our women around?
Pardon me, sir, but nothing could be further from my mind. I'm just waiting for a dear, dear friend of mine.
I'm waiting for the man. In early '65, the Rounders met other beatnik intellectual thugs on East 10th Street who called themselves the Fugs. They were recorded by Harry Smith doing the punkiest songs yet to exist. Low-fi, noisy shit about poetry, sex, and drugs.
We love grass, we love ass, we want a hugger, we want a bugger, we like it hot, we like pot, we stuff bills, we ain't pussy, we ain't fussy, we're on the east side, we're on the east side, and we're the Fugs.
Smith recorded 2 live amazing studio Fug sessions, including Tuli Cooperberg's, of course, immortal nihilist anthem, Nothing. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday and Thursday, nothing. Friday for a change, a little more, nothing. Saturday, once more, nothing. A New Yorker, nothing. Village voice, nothing. Sing out in folk ways, nothing. Harry Smith and Allen Ginsberg, nothing, nothing, nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. In addition to all, the Funks had an amazing range from moving to filthy. And Ed also brought in Blake and Swinburne and his own amazing poetry. I command the house of the devil, the killers and gougers, butchers and freaks, all demons and creeps. The goddess of cancer sits on the left, the king of napalm lives on the right. The hound of August sucks in the center, eating our brains in the night. The Fugs were real poets with real topics to speak out, and through the new underground scene, this crazy music could leak out. This began the punk idea that anybody could do it without needing much musical ability to it, and this new kind of music was soon labeled freak out. In '66, the Fugs signed to New York label ESP. The same label put out a band called The Gods, spelled with a Z. The Gods accomplished the feat of making even the Fugs music sound sweet, with the least musical folk punk racket in history. Far from the West Coast hippie scene, New York underground music was far from mainstream. It was intellectual but noisy and hectic, and then the Velvet Underground went electric and made the folk punk thing more refined and more extreme. Nothing could stem New York's strange new folk punk tide. In 1968 came David Peel on the Lower East Side. He recorded an acoustic album in the street, screaming and sloppy. Danny Field signed him to Elektra, sold almost 1 million copies with songs like I Like Marijuana and Up Against the Wall, Motherfucker inside. Mother, where is my father? Where is my brother? They're at war. They're at war. You made them join the dirty U.S. Army. You told them all the filthy white lies. You gave them all the bullshit and baloney. And now my brother and my father gonna have to die. The Stooges were a freak-out band in Detroit, and folks ignored them until John Cale from the Velvets had them in New York to record him. When most acid rock was turning into progressive, the Stooges instead pushed the raw and aggressive, and Iggy Pop sang about degradation and boredom. It was 1969, okay? All across the USA. Another year for me and you. Another year with nothing to do. Another year for me and you. Another year with nothing to do. In 1970, David Peel's second album came, with some amazing songs and some a little lame. In most pre-punk histories, Peel gets forgot because he was a hippie who sang tons of songs about pot. But his second album was the first album with the real sound that electric punk rock became. We are from the Lower East Side. We don't give a damn if we live or die. We are from the Lower East Side. We don't give a damn if we live or die. And even though it was 7 years before this was something the Clash would do, Peel mixed punk with reggae in the amazing song I Want to Kill You. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all the people of the future generation. It's all the people in a world of demonstration. It's all the people in a world of aggravation. We gotta change the world before annihilation. Gonna get a rifle and I'm gonna get a gun. I am out to kill you and I'll have a little fun. I am out to murder you, I'm going to attack. I am out to kill you, you're the monkey on my back. Oh, I wanna kill you. Kill, kill, kill. I wanna kill you. Kill, kill, kill. In 1970, Lester Bangs first writes the word punk to describe 60s enthusiastic teenage rock junk. In 72, Lenny Kaye puts out the Garage Comp Nuggets and coins the phrase punk rock in the liner notes of it, although punk rock would soon come to mean something very different from what Lester and Lenny thought. They meant raw 60s pop songs. I feel depressed, I feel so bad, 'cause you're the best girl that I've ever had. I can't get your love, I can't get affection. All little girls' psychotic reaction. And it feels like this. I Kaye also began playing music with an East Side poet named Patti Smith, who would use it to mix wild poetry with simple rock stuff, like the Fugs in a way, but a little less rough. A sort of self-conscious postmodern way to take high art and low art and fuse it. Jesus died for somebody's sins, but not mine. Gloria, Gloria. The lower, 73 is when the New York Dolls start, mixing trash and drag fashion with a pure rock and roll heart. The David Johansen, Johnny Thunder sound mixed old-style simple rock with the new New York underground, sort of defined the moment when stupid on purpose became the new smart. The Lower East Side began punk fashion then, too, as well, with spiked hair, ripped clothes worn by a poet named Richard Hell. He was in Television, the Neon Boys, the Heartbreakers, the Voidoids, and he wrote the song that gave the 70s punk generation their real anthem-defining yell. I was screaming, get me out of here before I was even born. It's such a gamble when you get a face. It's fascinating to observe what the mirror does when I die, and it's for the wall and I set a place. Cause I belong to the blank generation, but I can take it all, leave it each time. I belong to the generation, but I can take it all, leave it each time. 74, CBGB starts having punk shows with Television, Patti Smith and the Ramones. 75, Punk Fanzine begins then. The whole punk thing moves over to England. England steals all the credit, and that's how it goes. There was these people right here in this room that began the whole thing, changed my life and many other people's lives. Happy birthday, Ed. My name is Jeffrey Lewis. That's my brother Jack, my friend Abby. Thanks.
Just one thing, guys. Refuse to be burnt out, okay? So we're ready to move forward into the past. Tuli Kupperberg is about ready to make his moves on you. So please, gosh, what do you say about it? Get up. He's a regular here at the Bowery Poetry Club, and we love Tuli!
Get it up, Julie.
No, that's not the real me. That's what Goethe said as he was dying. Wait a while. That's ominous. I've always admired Taylor Mead for his disorganized and unrehearsed shows, and for various reasons, this may be an imitation of him. I'm going to do a Paris song by Ed. You know, Paris song is a song to someone else's earlier melody. And the song is titled Further Verses from America the Beautiful. The original words were written by Catherine Lee Bates in 1893, right on Pikes Peak. She had admired the view, and she wrote the lyrics we all love and admire. How many of you know this song? well, you'll know Ed's song. In 1904, it was set to music. She incidentally was a Congregationalist pastor's daughter, and also managed to be a professor of English literature at Wellesley. 1904 was set to music by Samuel A. Ward, who also wrote church music, and to a melody that goes back to another church hymn that goes back to Scotland in 1650. I learned the song myself almost 70 years ago at public school 70 Manhattan, just a few miles north of here on First Avenue. And if this is still the world, this will be a world premiere.